have to figure that out one day. And
There's
I
a lot of things you can do with StreamYard.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I used to go live all the time, but when you go live every 2 weeks, and we've been kind of skipping a little bit, so but we're back. So hey guys, welcome to the show. My name is Patdees, and this is Bigfoot. This guy here,
Steve.
Steve.
You
Steve's
know, yeah.
got here, right here.
I don't know. It's different for you than it is for me.
Yeah, it's in the lower left corner when I look at the screen. So it's been 2 weeks already since we've done the last show. Like, just time goes by so fast. And so I wanted to. I said to Steve, and I'll explain because Steve has talked about this before in the past, and we both have a background in selling on Amazon. And I am currently not selling nothing on Amazon in my reselling business. Back when COVID was, I was extremely busy doing well on there, and over the last basically year and a half, because of lack of really sourcing, I've done terrible, and I'm almost at the point where the last 9 months I probably have sold nothing, and it's non-existent, and I feel like I'm missing out, being it having the ability to sell 3D printed stuff, but I'm like, does it get lost on there? And Steve basically talked about over Christmas how good he's doing on Amazon, and that's what we kind of want to explore today. Last year, I did approximately $15,000. We just started the 3D print business last February. I did about $15,000 in sales, with about $12,000 on Whatnot, and the other $3,000 at craft fairs. So but out of that $12,000, approximately, I would say $5,000 of it was wholesale to like Harry Tornado and like treasure hunting with Jeebus. So roughly around 7,000, because a lot of the stuff that I'm selling, honestly, and that is part of the problem with Whatnot, is in that $3 to $5 range, and to the point where sometimes, you know, when you're selling a sword, for example, and it should go for, let's say, 15, people only want to give you 5, and you're only making $1. I feel like I'm actually hurting myself or my potential to sell on other platforms, and that's what we want to talk about tonight. So Steve, why don't you give us some like basically a little bit of your background with Amazon, and how you got launched and doing the 3D, and walk us through that a little bit.
Oh, Amazon, man. I started just the same way you did, with mostly retail arbitrage stuff. And COVID was also my big time. We did $55,000 in 6 weeks, doing that stuff.
Right.
And then it fell off. It really fell off. And I think it fell off for a lot of people. Things changed. Retail arbitrage was not as good, nowhere near as good. And of course, Amazon's always changing the rules on you. So, you want to know how I got into 3D printing, or how I got it on the Amazon?
Well, I know how you got into 3D printing,
Right.
but you can explain that basically what month, and really to have the courage, and that's something I didn't do. And when you talked about it on one of our prior episodes, you told me how you create the chickens and did very well in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So walk us through that.
So, it all started on Whatnot, actually. The idea of the chickens came from there, and I was doing really well with them over on Whatnot. Of course, I had gotten into 3D printing not too long after you. I've been almost a year now. Well, May will be a year.
I started in February, so yeah.
And my plans were never to make it a business. It was more of a hobby thing, and I got on the Whatnot, and I was doing vintage home decor, selling a lot of that stuff, because it was not too expensive to find some of this stuff, but it sold for good prices. Well, I noticed that everybody's buying these hens on nests, and so I started selling my magnets there, and man, it exploded. I did probably $3,000 worth of sales just on my magnets on Whatnot, and I thought to myself, well,
on
nobody's on Whatnot. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that you had sold that.
I was getting a lot of through messages and stuff, I was getting wholesale orders for people and things like
Wow.
that. And then
Okay.
they were in turn selling them for more on Whatnot because they had bigger followings than me. So I thought to myself, well, let's see what happens. How do you get one of these items on Amazon? Because nobody was doing it. There's some 3D printed stuff on Amazon. Some people do it, but they give up pretty quick because it's a tough game. Amazon is, and I didn't do any advertising or anything like that, and it just happened that I got in right when the hen on nest craze was taking off, and it's still really hot. I mean, a lot of people are selling them now. I was the only one on Amazon with it. That's why it took off so good.
Right.
And I did, by the end of the year, I think I had done about 5,000 in sales on between Whatnot and Amazon, and a little bit on eBay too.
Right.
A little over 5,000. And then, of course, it slowed down after Christmas time, and right now we're doing maybe 2 or 3 sales a day. But that's 2 or 3 sales that I don't have on other platforms.
Right.
So, and if you can find products, and I just haven't had time to put anything else up there yet because I've been busy with wholesale orders. But if you can find a small product that makes you $5 or $10 in profit, and you can launch that on Amazon, and you're the only one with it, you're probably going to make some money, and it's just
Right.
the way it is. And if you repeat, and this is from our buddy John, if you repeat that 10 times, well, now you're making pretty good money, right?
I mean, even if you made $20 a day, let's be real. I mean, not everybody has to shoot for the moon at $20 a day. When we talked about it a couple months ago, I kind of like, maybe it's just a 1 month thing. But I came across this guy, and my son actually featured this guy. I'm going to add it to his stage, and obviously looks like an Asian guy, and
basically outlining where I make my money from my business. So in 2025, we have once again achieved $7 million, 7 figures in sales. And before I get the people in the comments saying,
so I'm going to talk about this guy that really this past week was the motivational factor that got me reaching out to Steve yesterday or the day before. And I think it was actually yesterday. And I said, Steve, I want to go live tomorrow. It's Wednesday. The problem is I don't just like to go live just to BS. I really want to network and learn from other people and enjoy talking about it. But sometimes, if nothing much changes in 2 weeks, it can become repetitive and you don't really learn much and stuff like that. But what happened was we're designing a new product for Harry Tornado. Now, I just shipped him out another wholesale box, even though I haven't been really doing many lives on Whatnot because I got injured. I fell in January. So that's why my Whatnot and my YouTube, someone just posted on my other channel, Patdees, the Traveling Picker, hey, when is the next video? And I've just been nursing an injury. But I've been relying on trying to get Harry Tornado basically to buy the same amount of stuff that he bought last year. But you can't skip 2 or 3 months, and you also got to come up with new ideas in sort of the same category that will sell for him, where he's willing to take the risk to buy, because luckily he has an audience that follows him. So my son was having a print problem, and I guess reached out to this guy, or reached out to, I don't know if it was the same guy, but he came across this guy, and it's Dan Scene 3D Prints. He's from New Jersey, and you could see he has a huge warehouse. And look at the title, How My 3D Print Generates $1 million in Revenue. I'm going to play a couple minutes, let him talk, and then me and Steve will talk about this, and I want to highlight some of the things that he says. So I'm only going to probably play like 5 minutes over the course of an hour, but I want to highlight some of the things that he says. I've watched the whole video yesterday, so I already know what he says, so I know kind of whereabouts I want to highlight.
is this profit? No, this is not profit. This is just top line revenue, top line sales. This is gross. This is before fees, taxes, payroll, rent, all that stuff. This is gross. I'm not going to get into the net profit here in this video. I just want to give you guys an idea of all the ways that my business has generated income and revenue in 2025, and kind of give my thoughts on each of these platforms and how I make my money, and go more in depth about that. All right, so I have my notes here. Coming in at number 1, 45% of my sales is generated on Amazon. So if I just use 7 figures as sort of a baseline, we do more than 7 figures in sales, a little bit over 7 figures, but I like to use $1 million because it's easy to convert that into percentages. So Amazon, we do 45% of our revenue. That equates to about $450,000, almost $500,000 on Amazon with our 3D printed products.
So, Steve, what did you think when he said that?
When he said what? 45% of his sales are on Amazon?
He does $1 million a year, and he does $500,000. He does $500,000 just on Amazon.
So that sounds about right to me. That's about where I'm at with my 3D prints. About 45% of my revenue comes, not counting my wholesale stuff. I'm making more on the wholesale stuff right now. But as far as just the stuff I sell, he's right in the right ballpark as far as percentage. 45% is about right. Maybe a little more for me. But James says he makes 20 to 30% after expenses. That's pretty dang good.
No. He's saying that the guy that we featured does.
Right. Yeah,
right.
I know.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good figure for Amazon, or any platform really.
Right.
If you're manufacturing your own product.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I'm gonna see if I can find. He sells on Walmart. He does social media, and I'm gonna highlight. Like I said, I'm not here to basically play his old video, but if you guys are interested, you can watch him if you want to learn. It's just some things that I've watched. Now I'm gonna highlight this one.
Do you own your own home in Pennsylvania and are still paying for electricity? You could be missing out on free government assistance.
There we go.
If you guys remember, in 2025 January, TikTok was on the verge of shutting down. Trump continuously pushed back the ban date over and over and over again. Actually, at the time of recording this video, January 23rd, actually yesterday, January 22nd, TikTok was officially sold to U.S. investors. And so TikTok, the platform, the future of the platform, to build something from the TikTok Live community, selling on live. And so that is what is behind me. We are now at 14 tables. We do a decent amount of money.
Wow, look at that. 14 tables of small stuff. I mean, stuff that's probably $5, $10, $20, and that he is selling on TikTok. And during this video, he talked about how there were days he only had 5 or 6 people in there. And now he talks about in this video how 1 month he did $100,000 on TikTok.
On TikTok Live. My wife handles the TikTok Lives in the morning when my son's in school, and then sometimes at nighttime I will come in and do the night lives. As of late, I haven't really been doing that, but but from the first half, from January to June, we didn't have TikTok Live. What we were doing is we were doing the traditional way of selling on TikTok, working with affiliates, sending out free samples, using GMV Max to spend ads on videos that were converting sales and just pumping money into ads in those videos. And that worked for the first 6 months, right? We were doing, 1 month we did 100,000 on TikTok for one viral product that we had. It was the trash animals with the trash cans and tree stumps. And, one of the affiliates that we worked with, one of their videos went viral, and, we sold, 2,000-3,000 units in the first, 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. But
I mean, imagine doing $100,000 just on TikTok.
TikTok, yeah. I thought about opening TikTok. I have TikTok shops ready to go, but I can't.
Do you need?
I can't handle that volume right now.
Yeah. How many people do you need? I think you need 1,000 followers on TikTok, right?
No, I did it without it. I think I got in before. They required that.
Yeah, because I kind of looked into it, and I obviously because I've done YouTube Live before, and I do Whatnot Live. I'll tell you, there are a couple channels that I follow, and one thing I will say with Chartier, it impresses me. I mean, we were teasing him last time, but he did $300 in like 1 hour. Even if he made $100, that's up. Hey, what's up, buddy? So we're talking about basically one of the things is, and he's gonna talk about Amazon now.
Like if they're going to go bankrupt tomorrow, or if they're going to be sold off to another company. Amazon's going to be here for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows how long? Amazon is still the king of e-commerce, and they will remain the king of e-commerce. If you're selling online and you're not investing in Amazon, I don't know what you're doing, because that should be the number one platform where you at least should get some knowledge on. And you have to start. You don't need to do it. You don't need to get a brand to start. You could just start selling on the platform. Get your hands dirty, making listings, learning how to do PPC ads, learning how to do A+ content creation, SEO optimization, all this stuff. That kind of comes down later in the road, but it's kind of the same process. Learning how to build a good listing and then promote it is all skills that you'll learn on the platform when you start on there.
So that he really though this week motivated me to kind of really, I'll tell you, I still have my Amazon account, but I worry because we haven't basically sold there on a year. I'm hoping it's not been I don't know what the timetable is.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Well, at least I went for over a year, Pat. I sound really loud in my ear. I went for over a year without selling a thing on Amazon. So, and I didn't have a professional account anymore, so I had to level back up to the professional.
Uh-huh.
But when you sell on homemade things or handmade things on Amazon, you can sign up for Amazon Handmade. 3D prints are considered handmade.
Right.
So they take the $40 fee every month and waive it. You pay it once. You pay it the first month, and then after that, they waive it. So when you're Amazon Handmade, and so
is your
nothing to lose except $40.
Yeah. Now is your whole account? In other words, if you tried to sell anything else besides 3D print, then that wouldn't work.
I haven't looked into that. I think it's your whole account, as long as you're selling handmade stuff.
Right.
But don't quote me on that, because I do not know that answer.
Yeah.
There's a few DVDs and CDs I was going to list, and I haven't done it yet because I haven't had the time to look in to find the right answer yet. So.
Yeah, I want to make sure, because I have a contact that has some new DVDs that I've sold, like back in 24 at Christmas time. I sold a lot of DVDs that you can't even really find on eBay. And this guy lives about 45 minutes from him. That's his business. He sells on eBay, but he does not have an Amazon account. And I did okay. I sold probably $3,000 in December of, some unique DVDs, and there was a couple of them I was making $4 or $5 a piece. So I look at it like I wanted to keep Amazon. I looked at it like, hey, even doing the DVDs, if I made $3,000 or $4,000 a year, it was still worth it. They're easy to ship. But then, last year, and it kind of fell to the wayside. They suspended my account because I was late, or one item got my account kind of screwed up. But so one of the things that Tom is mentioning, and I want to make sure that because Tom is new. Tom's got one printer, but he has a lot of other people's. Now he says AI, IP on the table. Yeah, because you can buy. Like my son pointed out, is you can. Hey, Tiny, what's up, buddy? That's a local friend. You can buy, like they have. I forget who it is, but my son showed me that for $200 for the year, you get like 20,000 files, and they actually give you the same money back in filament. So basically, it's free, and you're allowed to. Basically mass produce those and sell them. I think my problem has been like, and I remember when I first started, people were like, don't print dragons. And let me tell you, I wasn't printing dragons until he's not paying for commercial licenses. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know.
Most of his stuff that I've seen in his videos, because I've watched a lot of his stuff, is definitely available commercially. It's none of his stuff is original as far as I can tell. He didn't create any of it. So I know it would be a big chance to post that all on YouTube the way he does, and not pay for commercial licensing. But I don't know. I don't know the guy.
Yeah, you just read my mind, because it's not like it's someone tinkering with craft shows and selling $100 here, $200 here. He really would put himself in a legal bind doing. I think he's a lot smarter than that.
He's a smart dude. I know that.
Well, yeah, anybody. I mean, and I don't know who was it James or Corey that said that the investment he probably has. I wouldn't be surprised. At least $250,000 invested into between all the printers and everything.
At least.
Yeah, but it's
he's got professional filament making machines and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that's the next direction that he's going. He wants to basically make, and he even talks about something that I thought about doing a video on, but I haven't done it yet. Is he talks about basically not competing with the Chinese, because you see it that they're selling stuff on eBay $5 shipped. He's printing toys. Yeah, I don't know.
He is selling the same stuff everybody else is selling, and we don't know. Well, what I can say about that is, what if he was printing his own stuff? How much more money would he be making on Amazon instead of selling the same things that everybody else is selling? It just occurred to me,
And maybe he feels that he's still early enough in it that, hey, make the money from that because he's going to be making his own filament. Is that what right? So maybe he feels like, hey, grab the money from that stuff that you can. The market's still there, and maybe 5 years from now that stuff doesn't work as much anymore.
And I think the market's still there only because people are afraid to try Amazon. Most 3D print people are not on Amazon.
Right.
I would say the vast majority. There's a few. I find a few. And most of them are in there for the quick buck that are on Amazon. My competitor, their product is nowhere near the quality. They might sell more than me, I don't know. But because they're cheaper. But they're not near the quality. Their listing is not near the same quality, that kind of thing.
Right.
So, I don't know. I would rather create my own thing and then put it up on Amazon. That's what I did with the chickens. And I bet you my profit is, it's well above 20 to 30%. Because it takes 25 cents maybe to make one of the, with a magnet, let's say under $1 for all those magnets. It's well under $1. Right. And I'm selling them for $3 a piece, so that's doing pretty good.
Now, the soap dishes that I make for myself and for Harry Tornado, there's not a lot. Where I found out that I've done better in margin is basically looking for the deals. When you, let's say you're paying when you're let's say the average, bamboo you can get $21-25, but let's say it's $17.99, and then all of a sudden, like Creality has, hey, you buy 10 or 20 rolls and you're getting it down to $11 or $12. It really makes the difference of making that extra buck on that soap dish. Tom is asking, and guys, I do appreciate you guys, the interaction in the chat. So that helps, I think, the channel a lot. Pat, do you and your boy sell a lot of dragons and fidgets at flea market craft shows? We do. Actually, we do, because the kids want it. So when we're selling $5 and $10 items, and usually the dragon on average probably costs us $4 or $5. We're pretty much doubling our money. And when you're setting up these craft fairs or craft shows, now we've only done, I think, 5 or 6 roughly. When you're setting up a lot of these places, it's typically around $50, $75. So it's not a lot of money. It's not like you have to go and it's $250. We have not done nothing at a flea market yet. The problem is at the flea market, and we actually ruined a whole batch of swords because we did a at a local. The place is called Hunter's Gallery, and we know the lady, and we set up there because we knew there would be kids. They do a big thing event every year with a fish tank, and it started raining. So my son loaded up the SUV and put the bins in there and left it in there. The next day it was sunny. Well, guess what happened? They warped.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
we lost about $300 worth of our cost worth of product. So my concern is setting up at a flea market in the summer is not going to be good for unless you have a tent above you. You want to make sure.
If you're working with PLA, yeah.
Yeah. Now James has a question here or a comment. He has commercial space employees. Right. So your costs are different anyways. But yeah, of course. And we don't need to do. I mean, we don't need to do $1 million. What it shows, though, that it's possible. For me, yeah, James, I tried to do that on a couple, and you probably have to do a couple to get it perfected. So what I did is there's some kids that I know in the neighborhood, old employees of mine. They have kids now. I just gave them away, and because I want to make sure whatever I'm selling, it's perfect, and
oh, that's how I have to. I am very picky on what goes out the door. Yeah.
So I
shouldn't maybe be that way, but I am.
So I gave away about 7 or 8, and I'll save some of the other ones, and then maybe someone comes up at the school and just can't afford a $10 sword, and I'll be like, here, I got it's a little, and I'll say it got a little warped from the sun, but here you can have it for free and enjoy it. And you know what?
Do they still work all right?
Yeah, it's just instead of having, let's say, this flat circle, it has a slight little warp on the. Yeah. So it goes out right and stuff like that. But
if you built a little jig where you had heat gun and then you could just pull it down, you'd probably be able to straighten those out pretty well.
Yeah.
But I like your idea. Kid comes up, parents don't have the money, give it to the kid.
Yeah, and if you're there and you've done $400 or $500, you know what? They remember that next time they come by. It can't always be about. We're part of the community too, so yeah, exactly. The kids don't care about warping, and to be honest, a lot of times with the swords, because I gave at Christmas time, I gave some to old employees, the kids, for Christmas, along with the toys I buy from when I do the toy drive. And the one kid they said crying because I guess the brother took it and hit it against the wall or something and broke it. I said, oh, don't worry. So the next day, because his mom works at the local insurance office at the post office, I went in there with 3. She said, oh my God, they're going to drive me nuts because she has 3 kids. Mm-hmm. I said, give them to the cousins when they have fun. And she goes, I'm going to call you at night when you got to watch them. So, but going back to this guy has motivated me. Look, $1 million. I don't need to do $1 million. I mean, my goal was eventually, let's say I started this really to help my son. And we basically have a 70-30 split. So when we do the craft fairs, he gets, now I did say to him, if you don't, I think I told him 2 or 250. If you don't do 250, you could keep the money, because sometimes, to be honest, not sometimes, a lot of times, he's buying filament with his own money, and I'm like, gosh, and so I just let him keep. The goal for us is to build it up where, honestly, if I made $1,000, $2,000 a month, and he made $4,000 a month, I'd be more than happy. The thing is, I want to build this up for the long term, that it can sustain long term for him to have a nice little viable business. Hey, if you make $40,000, $50,000, that's good. We plan to, in the future, where we live right now. We live an hour north of where we're originally from, so I think we're going to move down there and eventually probably throw up a modular home, and then we're going to build a big 4-car garage and put a 3D print, because I want to kind of get it out of the house and have him in there, and maybe by then we have 20. We have 7 machines right now, and 7.
Jeez. I got 3, and I told you I had some news on the way in the show, and I was going to say it until I got in the show. but we got one more coming. So my wife bought me one for my birthday.
Have they?
So
They're like
we'll be up to 4.
People with tattoos. They become addicting.
Well, it's because right now I'm getting a lot of wholesale orders, and it's hard to get them out as fast as I want to. She's always good about it, my main wholesale lady, but she doesn't care how long it takes me to make them. But I want to get them out in a real nice, timely fashion, and the only way to do that is to buy more machines. The one product I'm making, I can only make 2 at a time. You know, kind of like your soap dishes. There's only so many you can make at a time. Well, right. The only way to make more at a time is to buy more machines, and so it's just a single color A1 is what I got. So it'll be my second A1. I love these little A1 machines, man. They're awesome.
The payoff is just so quick.
It'll be paid for in one wholesale order.
Yeah. You know? So my son bought that H2D $2,000 without even asking me. Like he used his own money, whatever. But I said to him, in all fairness to him, when I do a big wholesale order with a fellow whatnot person, I would give him, you know, 100. The payment is like 160. I'll give him $100. So we sold the Jeebus this year. We sold the Flip the World. We sold the Harry Tornado. So he already now has the payment for the next 2 months, and Harry Tornado will be getting an order for May, and so I'm giving him like 100 out of the $160 payment from, you know, the whatnot sales and stuff like that. But I want to definitely. I'd be ecstatic if we could do $25,000 a year on Amazon with a 35% margin. To realistically, I mean, if I made 20,000 and my son made 50, and we had to do 100, let's say the cost is 30%. We're deep in now, and I'm gonna. We always do a segment on our show. What did you print this week? And we're gonna show that. We're a little bit half an hour in, and watching these other, when people come on, I know it's just a big headline, and there's, you know, I'm not looking to do $1 million. I mean, Steve, hasn't this kind of helped you a lot financially?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Right now, it's actually outdoing eBay right now.
Right.
So, and it's a lot of that is it's the time of year. We don't source as much. You know what the weather can be. It's the same as what you get or even worse. So, and a lot of the sourcing is out towards Cleveland, and that's a long drive, and I'm too old for that. So, the 3D printing has really enhanced the business, really.
Right. Tom says, is that a 2-head printer? Is that the A1?
That's the one your son bought, yeah.
Oh yeah, the H2D. Yep, that's a 2D. We had our power go out last night though, and wiped out everything that was on it.
Hey Corey, I think I'm going to make a video on my channel called "The World's Worst Reseller." I'm not that great. I've realized it over the last couple of years. Reselling, I love reselling. You just like I'm sure Pat does, and Corey does, but I'm not really the best reseller out there. So, yeah,
well,
I'm thinking about making that video, and not to be down on myself, but to say it's okay. You know, you don't have to be the best at everything. I'm not the best at 3D printing either. I could have took advantage of those chickens when it first started and made all sorts of things, and I didn't. Now everybody else is making that stuff. You know what I mean? So,
Tom has a question for you there.
The sale of this guy. This is the wrong color, but these are doing okay. I sell 1 or 2 a week usually.
Yeah, how is Etsy treating you?
Etsy sucks.
Yeah, that's what
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, my son set something up on Etsy. I don't think he sold nothing yet.
For me, it does for me.
Yeah.
I don't pay. You can pay to promote it and all that. It's the same stuff you can do with Amazon or eBay or any of them. And I don't on Etsy. And mainly because I don't have the time to make a ton of those Bigfoots, because they take 8 hours, almost 9 hours, depending on which machine I put it on. And I have a bunch of other stuff I have to print. And so somebody asked me, why aren't those on Amazon? They would do really well, and they probably would. I don't have the capacity. So Etsy, I get 4 or 5 sales a week, over my whole product line. So it's just, and all my things are unique. I don't sell anything that anybody else designed there. It's all me. But it's just, my magnets, there's 30 other people selling those now. I was the first, but there's 30 other people on there now.
That's one of the things that guy talked about too. He sells a lot of stuff. He has a guy comes in who basically sells at the flea market, comes in and builds a box out of all the stuff he has displayed. And the guy doesn't want to do the 3D print, and all he wants to do is come and buy wholesale from him. And he says he sells stuff to him at like 30 to 50% off. And that's another customer that he has.
We were talking about Chartier earlier. That's a lot of his customers on Whatnot. They're buying it from him and then selling it at locally.
Oh, are they?
A couple of them are, yeah. There's one that they can get it so cheap from him. Why buy a printer?
Right.
You see what some of that stuff sells for on Whatnot. It doesn't sell for a ton.
No.
So if you could buy it and sell it locally, because if you go into any of those,
right,
they're called antique malls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go into any of them right now, there's a flood of 3D printed stuff, and that's a lot of people will set up in there. But why get a printer if you can buy it so cheap from somebody else?
Right. And
me, I don't want to sell the same stuff. John, by the way, John is one of those that does buy the license for everything.
Yeah.
I know for a fact.
He
buys the license, they sell it.
Yeah, we do too. We won't print nothing that is not like, you don't see us printing Disney stuff. We know there really is no license on that. So
you're not going to get a license for that.
No, there is no license. So anyone says there's a license, there's not. But at the end of the day, if we can make $10,000 selling replicating stuff, and when you think about it, $10,000 at $5, $8 average, you don't really need to sell a whole lot over the course of the year. I know when I did a couple shows on Whatnot, I did $300 or $400 quickly. So maybe for me it's a fourth quarter thing. Our int do not allow mod. Ooh, okay.
There's we're not in a huge area for that sort of thing. We only have within 30 miles. There's only one. Within 50 miles, there's only really maybe 3 antique type malls, but they're more vendor malls, not antique malls.
Yeah,
you'll find a lot of antiques in them, but so they're more vendor malls than anything.
I think a lot of people, to be honest, it's not that they like the 3D stuff. It's that when you need to pay the rent, those little $3, $4 items, if they bring the kids through them, and then the mom or dad buys it to shut the kid up, and it helps pay the rent.
If you're smart and you have a booth, which I'm actually thinking about getting one. We have a small antique, and it's very cheap. I'm thinking about that, and if you're smart, you're going to put those little things in there for kids, because it is the cheapest thing that parent is going to find in there. If you
it's an impulse. It's just the same analogy as when you're checking out the grocery store when they have the candy bars and the Tic Tacs and all those little things that you grab that even though they're cheap.
You got. I don't even want to know. You're gonna have some stuff get stolen. It's just gonna be the way it is. I have people steal at my yard sale, and I think you had that too, didn't you? Somebody stole at your yard sale, Pat, or something. I thought you did a video on that. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but it happens.
Well, Locker Nuts did a video how someone stole at the flea market that dress.
Oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I don't really have. I keep a pretty good eye. I'll be honest. I don't remember really.
Even if people did steal something, I probably wouldn't notice that much, and I know they do.
I'll be honest.
I don't notice at my yard sales that much because I'm selling it so cheap anyway.
There's certain things they go, oh, I only want 2 of the glasses. I say no. They're like $2. I said you take all the rest for. I said you can have them all for $5, and they go. You mean all of them for $5? I said, yep. And I said, I'm going to tell you the truth. As many times as I've unboxed, packed these up, I said, go look at my dumpster right there. I said, I probably have 2 boxes of broken glass in there. I said, I'd rather you get some use out. And you know how much stuff I've sold that way? You know, I mean, and I'm not doing yard sales this year. I'm going to do the flea market, but I don't. What happened was when that trailer burned in my property 2 years ago, and I rented the excavator and I cleaned up and filled the dumpster. The ground was rough from the burn and the fire trucks, but it never really got fixed. Well, after this year, when there was 2 people that got stuck in my damn yard. Now, keep in mind, I have a big side yard. I have 17 acres, so I had an excavator come in October, and we cleared it off. We pushed. It's I don't want no people parking in my driveway again. Oh, wait a minute. Here's someone wants to ask you a question.
Yeah, I think he's asking if I don't do Spark anymore, but if I were, Spark is an 8-hour day for me. I go to work in the morning and I come home in the afternoon. 8 hours. I spend 8 hours out every day. Other people do it differently. I know you do Instacart. You probably do it differently. You do it when you can. But it was a full-time job for me. Spark was. So that's 40 hours a week, whatever. Actually more because I work 6 days a week. Wife put in 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. 3D printing is a 24-hour a day thing. However, I'm not sitting here designing or doing something for those 24 hours. The machines are running for 24 hours. So, time-wise, I have probably less time physically into 3D printing than Spark, but Spark was a 40-hour week. So
yeah,
that's how I did it.
My son does Spark in between driving for the boss and the 3D printing. You know, I because my wife lost her job last year after she had surgery. I started doing the gig work and Instacart and this and that. But when I did it when I did it in January and I fell on my ass and busted my leg.
It's
my
tough work, and we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, over a rock. So that's why I haven't done no deliveries for 7 weeks because I'm still in the healing process. But I want to build the 3D print business up to something that is, again, I don't have rosy expectations. And if my son makes more, I'm fine with it. I would be ecstatic if I made $1,000 a month. I mean, that could pay for a car payment. That could pay for the insurance. And you know what I mean?
Watching my stories, soap operas, I guess you mean.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Well, I used to actually love watching some of those soap operas. You get into. My mom watched them, and my grandma watched them. So you get into that because it's a storyline, and that storyline never. You can stop watching. I bet you if I went back and watched it today, I'd know exactly what happened for the last 20 years.
Oh, trust me, I know. I when we got hooked in the General Hospital, and then when
it was another world.
Yeah.
I never watched General Hospital. Santa Barbara, they had that on for a while. There was a newer one, Passions.
And it's really bad when you start watching something on Netflix. I was watching Ozark, and you want to go to bed at 2 and 7 o'clock. You're like, there's only 2 more episodes. But hey, we are 45 minutes deep into this. We have 12 people here. We got a little bit of a slow start today, but if you're watching this on the replay, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And if you guys want to comment, greatly appreciate it. Steve, why don't you show what you printed this week and what you want to feature?
Okay, before I show it, I want to make sure that everybody knows this is not a finished product. It's not the right coloring. It's just a prototype because I haven't had time to finish it.
Oh, you're big now.
All right, so staying along the Bigfoot lines because I enjoy doing that stuff, I made. Oh, it's too big. It's a pen holder.
Oh, I like
that. It's the same Bigfoot, and the stump holds the pens.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah, this isn't. I mean, I've changed it. I've made the stump a little smaller because I think it's way too big. But that is what I printed this week.
Yeah, but that's actually nice on a desk. Do you have that on Etsy?
It's not finished yet. I still have. I want to make this one color and him. Like this will be a lighter brown. This will be a darker brown. That's what I really want.
Right.
but I just haven't had the time to finish it yet. So I took it into Tinkercad and separated it so the stump is separate. And now I'll put pins in his hands so that it can be two different pieces and it'll print on two different machines.
Right.
So he's going to be a dark brown. This will be a light brown. This will be a little bit smaller. But that was the one I did this week.
Now, what the time and the cost to do that?
This one takes about 8 to 9 hours, same as the other Bigfoot, about 9 hours. Now, when it's two color, actually, it should take a little bit shorter time when it's two color because they'll be separate prints. But even if it was 4 hours each, it's still about the same. And it's about $4.50 to print.
That's it.
So not that bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't take. I mean, the walls are thick, but it's only 8% infill. You don't need a lot.
All PLA.
It's all PLA, yeah. But anyway, that's my next. It'll be on Etsy soon. I just haven't had a chance to get it up there, but it'll hold everything you need, you know.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing I got this week, Pat. But I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Now you're gonna. You think next week you'll have that? Let me ask you, why are you not putting your like Steve stuff on the bottom?
It would be Slick Toys, actually. I do. I put a sticker on the bottom.
Oh, you do a sticker. Okay.
Yeah, because it's just so much easier.
Yeah.
I have this cheap little thermal printer.
Yeah.
And I got a roll of stickers and just print off, you know. So for the Bigfoot ones, I don't have. Do I have it handy? It's these brown stickers, and it'll have a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It'll have a Bigfoot on it, and it'll say Slick Toys on it because that's my company name.
Now, are you just sticking it on, or are you doing glue too?
No, it's just stuck on. Those are really good sticky stickers.
Okay.
And then for the chickens, I sell 5 at a time, so I put them in a bag, and then the sticker goes on the bag.
Yeah, so, but you're not putting nothing on the actual on the chick. It's too small.
And a lot of that is because I do a lot of wholesale, and I don't want to have to switch between. You know?
Right.
And I know for your wholesale, you still put it on there, but
I do. I mean, when I do hairy tornadoes now, I'll show you on a future show. We are designing something, but I mean, obviously, now we didn't put his name on. I showed you this before, but this ain't my. What did I print this week? But I have it right here. But you could see how it says Patdees there.
Yeah.
My hope is when I do that. Now it doesn't say hairy tornado at all anywhere. My hope is by putting Patdees on it that maybe someone says they buy from somebody and they say, "Wow, I wonder if this guy could make me something for a wedding," or they have a business, or they have something that they want to get create another wholesale opportunity.
That's part of it too. Is my one big wholesale order is so big right now. She keeps my machines busy 24/7, at least 3 to 4 days a week, and I don't have the capacity to go any bigger. You know, right now I do, but I don't.
Right.
So it puts my stuff on hold. I do have another machine coming, so it's getting better.
Right.
I want to be around 8 machines when all is said and done.
Yeah.
So putting my name on there and getting more business is not helpful to me at this point. Right. Eventually it will be. So
I mean, like here's an item. Now we didn't create this, but you know, your wife bought a bunch of these. The Peeps. Oops.
Oh yeah.
They're cute.
They're sitting out on the windowsill in the kitchen.
We live in the area where Peeps is from, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But we don't put the reason I don't put our name on it is because we didn't design this. So everything we design, I put our name on.
You don't do a lot of designing though.
Well, no, that's not true because the shower caddies we designed, the soap dishes we designed. We're working on something else that we designed. About 4.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
LSS asks if Dollar Tree will start selling 3D printed items. There's
Walmart.
already Chinese sellers.
Yeah. Walmart is.
So
already. Yeah.
That's my next step is Walmart. I think because my chickens are not on. That's the one thing I know. That one platform right now that the magnets aren't on is Walmart.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Dave the other night about Walmart, and so it might be something I do in the future to get the chickens up. because I know my wholesale accounts aren't going to last forever. Her audience is going to get. She's a whatnot seller. Her audience is going to get tired of buying the same thing.
Well, that's where you gotta come up with other
and then we are. I sell. These are little fairy lamp earrings that I sell to her, and then little tiny hen on nest earrings that we sell to her. She's exclusive on all that stuff. So
right.
3D is good for small scale, but these Chinese sellers are just like that dancing guy, and they have 6,000 printers in one room.
Yeah.
And they're making. I can make well over 100 of these in one print if I want to. They're so small. So things like that. But the snakes and the dragons, they're all over the place in some of these websites, and they're coming from China. And they're cheap.
And cheap.
Yeah.
I mean,
cheap.
yeah. We're talking about. I've seen what people sell $20 dragons for. They're selling for $7, $8, and sometimes ship free.
That's why you design your own thing,
right?
Because this is not going to be something that they could print and make money on because it's too much time. It's going to be 2 colors, that kind of thing.
Right.
Oh yeah, I worked in injection molding. Hated every minute of it. It's hot, nasty work. But 3D printing is not the same. It's slow.
Now I want to show I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I'm going to show you. I'll talk a little bit, but
that is pretty badass.
This is a dragon dinosaur that is going to be this weekend featured at the robotics competition in Warren Hills, New Jersey. And the video comes out tomorrow talking about this. My son has made, I think we're at like 92 of these. So we basically going to have 35 days of printing all these things. But there is 9 parts to this dragon or dinosaur.
That's it? Just 9?
9. Yep, 9.
That's actually not bad.
But the base is one big piece right here to here, and we're talking like a day's worth of printing 10 of those.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, I filmed the video today. Tomorrow, the video is coming out talking about. So that's all I'm going to say about this.
All right, Pat, you beat me this time. That is a nice product right there.
and this was designed by the students, and this is going to be part of a scavenger hunt at the event.
Oh.
So they have to build this.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an awesome idea.
Yep. Thank you. I have to give credit to my son, Big Red. But yeah, so we did.
So,
go ahead.
No, I'm not going to ask you because you got the video coming out, so I don't want to ask anything, and we'll talk about it maybe next show.
Tomorrow at 3:00, the video is coming out, talking about that. But they do special awards, and that's what I think he's trying to. And my son is now 25. He's a mentor, so he's up there tonight at the school. And he will drive the students Friday, and he'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll go down Saturday, and we'll be there for about 6-7 hours. I usually film one video because we do make parts for the robot. So this is exciting. It's cool. So I've made some graphics, but look for that video tomorrow at 3:00. It's up. It's not long. It's only about 12 minutes, and I gotta be honest. Start making more content because when I started last year, I had some good videos do 5,000 or 6,000 views.
I agree. You need to start making some 3D print content. I think your channel will take off if you do.
Yeah, I'm like right there. I'm at like 950 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. So
last time you were under 800 or under 900 last time. You were close to 900.
Yeah, I mean, this past month because I've been a little quiet, so I just don't like to make videos just to make videos. what happens is, people don't realize that you have to sometimes put 2 hours into, and you got to storytell and stuff like that. And unfortunately, my son is not real social. He does the robotics, he does with his friends, but he doesn't see the YouTube side of it that I enjoy. And hell, if I made $100 a month doing it, I think that would be great. But
I thought about starting a 3D print channel, but right now I'm printing the same things over and over and over again, so nobody wants to watch that.
Right.
It's this stuff that gets exciting, and
yeah,
I don't do enough of that right now. Eventually I will have more time.
Right.
But right now I'm trying to run an eBay business that I'm not good at.
And so I'm, and that was the focus.
So.
I'm going to look in this in the next week. I'm reaching out to Amazon and I'm going to ask them, what will it take for me to make sure that my account is fine, and that that one thing. I mean, let me give you a clue. Back in 2021, I sold $238,000 on Amazon. In 4 years on Amazon, I sold something like $400,000, and to have my account ruined by one thing, yeah, I have logged into it. Now, one thing what happened was the last credit card didn't work, so I had to. What made me mad is they suspended me, right? But they still charged me the $40 a month.
Of course they did.
I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you suspend me and you charge me $40 a month, so then I took the credit card off there because I said, well, it didn't matter because I had to do our taxes. So I had to log you back in. And if you owe $10, you can't log in until you update the credit card. So because I had to get the numbers from last year.
Yeah. If you want to sell your 3D prints there,
I do.
My suggestion would be sell your own stuff. Your
soap dishes.
Now you can sell other people's stuff. Just make sure you got the proper licensing. You know this, and it's something nobody else is selling. I'll talk about that in a second, Basher. I use ChatGPT to set myself up to figure out what to do and how to do it, and it was very successful. Now I've only launched one product so far. I do plan on launching more. I just not in the cards at this moment. But I think you're going to be surprised if you do it right. If you're the only one. Now your soap dishes might be, let's say you're doing your soap dishes. That might be a heavily competitive market. I don't know.
But at the end of the day, let's say I sold 5,000 soap dishes a year at a $2 profit. That's $10,000.
Yep. And I'm doing just as good FBA as I was, or FBM as I was FBA, which fulfilled by merchant versus fulfilled by Amazon, where you send it in. So I haven't sent any in FBA in a while because I wasn't able to Dave told me I should be sending it in anyway, and I agree with him. I just haven't done it yet. So I do need to send some in FBA, but also keep some FBM on the side so that in case I need to fulfill a shipment or something goes wrong, whatever. So I like being in control of my own merchandise, not giving it to Amazon to handle, but it doesn't matter. If you got a unique enough product, the people will buy it. So
if you created 8 to 10 items, I mean, let's be honest, the market a lot of times people are looking for something unique. You get this, and let's say you can get any soap you want. We did this one at Christmas. This is our Sudsy Smile soaps, which I own the name to. It's a great gift. And honestly, now when I say $2, don't forget when I could sell them on Amazon instead of me selling them. I'm not selling them wholesale. Now I get, instead of getting, let's say $5, I get $8 to $10 for this, which then I'm making $4. And the market's big. It shouldn't be unrealistic that I can sell 1,000 in fourth quarter. I don't think that's unrealistic.
No, I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I did quite a few in fourth quarter. I'd say 300 or 400 units.
Right.
That's units of 5, so 5 chickens per order.
Right.
So it was crazy. It was so crazy. I took my machine on vacation with me. One of them.
It's in
I had to.
He's pulling
Had
over
to.
McDonald's doing 3D printing. Hey,
Well,
hey, Steve, maybe that'd be a series. I'll trade you
that would
five
be funny.
for a Big Mac. You know.
I want to answer Basher's question briefly because this is not a reselling show.
Yeah, that's okay.
But Basher, yeah, I had a little discussion with my wife today about that because at first I rejected selling CDs on eBay because it's all low profit stuff. It's a very low profit margin. But I've noticed recently that 90% of my sales on eBay, not 90, but at least half of my sales right now on eBay are media, CDs, DVDs, books. And I thought to myself, well, I can get them for almost nothing here. Our Salvation Army, for example, it's $5 for $1 for CDs and DVDs.
Wow.
And books, unless it's a box set. Then they price those separate. So I can go. I've been going on a weekly basis, picking up 4 or 5 CDs, 5 DVDs, something like that, and getting charged $1. So it was no brainer for me to get into it. And I've only been buying new stuff. So because for me that I don't like searching through the used and whatever. But I see how good Scott's doing with it. Now I wouldn't mirror him. I would do it my own way, of course, because when you try to copy somebody, it always ends in failure, at least for me. So I would make my own way doing it, but I do notice that there is some power in selling meat on eBay right now, especially if you're using a program like List Easier. It just works. So anyway, that's all I want to say about that.
No, that's all right. I do want to remind everyone, in the description, I have Steve's Etsy store. So if you guys are interested in supporting him, I know one of the shows he sold like 3 or 4 Bigfoots in there. So you could check out the link there. And I have a link if you want to check out Whatnot. You got to be new. But here's the kicker. You don't have to buy from me. You can buy from John Chartier. If you get $15 free, I get $5 if you buy something. I think last year I made $310 from referrals, at $5 at a time. A lot of the stuff that I sell to Harry Tornado, to be honest, because he's so big, he uses his referral money because you can't get the cash no more, and that's how he buys products for me. So, and he talks about it. Essentially, his cost is zero. So is able to convert those credits into something that he could sell in a show. I benefit from it. The only thing he's got to pay is the shipping. But so in the description, there's that. And I do have an Instagram for Patdees. Now, I don't have a Facebook for Patdees. Basically, what I'm doing is I have Patdees, the traveling picker, on Facebook, and I'm just putting Patdees stuff on the same because, honestly, it's very hard to have all these social medias and have enough content to fill them up. Steve, I noticed, and I want to talk a little bit about that before we go, but you've been uploading a lot more content.
It took a few days off, but I actually had the same thing. When are you going to do your next video? Maybe it was the same person who asked.
Yeah.
So I've got a video coming out. I'll probably work on it tomorrow. I have to film it yet, but some big purchase I just made, big for me, and that'll come out. But I have, Steve stuff on YouTube, Steve stuff on Facebook, Steve stuff on TikTok. So
I need to put. I mean, I don't have enough followers on TikTok. I wish I did because
you know what, you'll build followers real quick.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't do much on there, and I build more followers on TikTok on average than I do on any of the other platforms.
Yeah, I got to do just because I want to be able to. I hear that they're doing like Whatnot live auctions now too.
I haven't heard that, but that might be a thing to try. I don't know.
Yeah. Now you see, my wife is in the chat, Denise Dees.
Yes.
What I like about this, she's really been. I mean, she's loading. She loads up 2 machines that I don't even know how to load yet. The Elogo, and my son's got her like when something in. So she's been a big help, and she helped me film today. So it's nice when you can have a spouse that is supportive of what we're doing across the board. So I really do appreciate it.
I gotta say, my wife will empty the machines for me, like when a print gets done and I'm not here or something.
Right.
And then I'll start a new one from the phone or whatever. She doesn't know how to start new prints yet, but she can learn. It's really easy. It's eeasy. It's,
well, and you know what?
Especially
Maybe
on these bamboo machines.
She could come up with ideas that from a lady perspective, that would be worth.
Oh yeah, she's done a couple for me.
Yeah.
So, but today she said, well, because I get very frustrated very easily. Anxiety. It's anxiety. And so I was really far behind on putting magnets in things. And she volunteered to do that today. Now, I did it anyway because I had the time today. But I need to let go of some of these things. How many little chicken magnets or what? Magnets, no, I do 20 at a time.
Yeah, 20 at a time, yeah.
I do 20. I can do more, but I don't like the possibility of the print screwing up. So I space them out a little bit just to make sure that the print is okay. So 20 magnets at a time.
Yeah.
The small things like this, I can do over 100 at a time. And I do earrings like that. These are toothpick holders. These I do 10 at a time. I could do more. There's stuff inside.
Eventually, it would be nice if you could find, and that's what I hope is maybe find someone that has like even a bank. Maybe they have a little giveaway or do something that you can print with them, and they keep the money in their community. And you print something that's where I want to be in the future. Is really think outside the box and work with different companies that hey, I had a guy reach out to me just because he wanted to make something and give away. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what you want to do. I just don't want. And he goes, you think you can do? I said, we can almost design anything, but I said, you got to give it a little bit of time because when we design something, we may print it 3 or 4 times till we feel it's perfect. Because I'm not going to sell something with my name on the bottom of it and then it looks like hell.
I made a battery cover door. I designed it in Tinkercad because it was a big Jemmy skeleton. And he didn't have a battery cover. So I made it this week. And it takes me I do all the measurements, but it never comes out perfect. So it takes an average of 3 times. I print it out 3 times before I get it right. So I get that three times. Sometimes it's more.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot Scrub Daddy holder I did took about 6 prints before I got it where I really wanted it. And then I gave the print away for free because it's making me points on Maker World.
Right.
I'm up to 444 points just from that print.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, and it's only been a couple weeks.
Good.
So that's another avenue I'm looking at the time.
All right.
We're over. Another avenue I'm going to explore is designing prints to give away.
So Steve, I do appreciate again in the future we are going to bring up. This is me and Steve's show. And we are going to bring in, Tom's been on the show and helped us out, but we are going to bring on other people at times that are really knowledgeable about 3D. And so we're going to keep it interesting, but I always appreciate, me and Steve have been friends now for almost 7 years, I think it is. Yeah, 7 years this year.
It's been a while.
I appreciate it. And we've met in person and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. If you want to reach out to either one of us, you can do it through the social media and, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys again.
Later.